Aquarius, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a returning subscriber, I want to say I love you very much. I appreciate you for sticking with this community. If you are brand new to the channel or just cross-watching, I'm JT. Make sure you come in and check out some of the videos I just laid out. Maybe they might resonate with you, maybe they don't. Aquarius, like I said, just a general reading. So, sometimes the energy fits with you, sometimes it doesn't. Leave it behind for somebody else if it doesn't, okay? Make sure you leave some comments in the in the community section there, so we know we're on the same page. Okay. Aquarius, I hope everything is working out well for you. I wish you love, I wish you money, I wish you safety, peace, harmony. Just to let you know, I have been putting the haiku poems right before your reading, so I'm not trying to chase you off or anything. I know that a lot of people just like to get in and get their readings done, but I'm trying to do something a little bit different. So anyway, yeah, those poems will be right before I start your reading. Let me know in the comments, would you, if you like them. Okay, I'll go over each and every one of these cards with you, and we'll find out what's going on in your energy. Okay, maybe shuffle up one more time here. All right. Well, that one just flopped right in the front. I'm going to do it one more time. Somebody's energy is trying to pop in there. Okay. I'll go over each and every one of these categories with you, but I'll just get them laid out first. So we have your current energy, crossing challenge. We have the foundation, the recent past, a lot of major arcana already. We have the possibilities. We have the near future, lots of major arcana. All right, it's going to be a cool reading. We have the self, the environment, the hopes, fears, wishes, or worries, and then the outcome and the direction. Cool. Aquarius, give me just a minute to look at these cards, and while I'm doing that, I have your poems ready, okay? Okay, Aquarius, this reading is definitely about a truth that maybe you weren't supposed to know about. We're going to talk about it, okay? Let's get into this very first card. We have the Knight of Pentacles, okay? This is your present energy. This is the slow, steady, I'm rebuilding my life, brick by brick kind of energy, not really rushing anything. Not in 2026, especially not for love. This is moving with intention, okay? Not impulse. We're talking about someone maybe taking their time, like texting back to you. I don't feel like it's because they're not interested, okay? It's because I feel like they're trying to do things right this time. So if this energy applies to you, just take it, with a grain of salt, all right? We could be talking about a masculine energy here. Maybe someone that's got like brown or hazel-like eyes is what I'm picking up. They're like watching your social media, like quietly. This is the 2 a.m. Internet surfing, right? But they're not saying anything yet. This is could be talking about you like building financial stability, saving, budgeting, planning, maybe even preparing for like some big purchase or something like that. This has got that slow burn romance that's forming, okay? This is the kind where like tension builds over weeks, not like days or something like that. This has definitely got the energy that someone wants to prove themselves to you, through their consistency, not words, right? This is you becoming more grounded in your boundaries, especially around texting patterns, right? Emotional boundaries, those types of situations. But this could be talking about a work opportunity that's growing slowly but steadily. It's like something that you planted in the background. It could have been months ago, right? This is definitely attracting like earth sign energy. We could be talking about someone like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn might be in your timeline. This is, moving slow, but I mean what I say energy here, okay? We could be talking about like a karmic cycle also that's ending. Because you're no longer going to rush into connections that are draining the hell out of you, right? As far as like synchronicities are concerned, you could be seeing repeating numbers. Like when you think about someone, I don't know. We're going to talk about the next card though. Moving on into the challenge here. We've got the moon, okay? This is the time where I need you to take a deep breath, okay? I'm not going to be gentle with this one. The moon brings confusion to you, all right? Mixed signals. It's got that emotional fog energy going on, right? I think you're unsure whether a person might be single, or maybe they might be still, tied to somebody from their past or something like that. But as far as the feminine energy is concerned, this maybe a person, hiding their feelings out of fear of like rejection. Okay. You could be picking up, I don't know, your intuitive hits, something like that, like dreams, deja vu, strange synchronicities, right? But you're not really sure what's real here. Okay. Someone's, it's got that same someone watching your online presence, not reaching out, right? This is the energy of, I don't want to repeat old patterns, especially with someone who feels really familiar to you, okay? It could be talking about maybe like sensing jealousy from someone who hasn't expressed, their interest yet, questioning whether, the simple things. Is this a soulmate connection? Is this a karmic connection? Could be talking about like money, feeling pretty uncertain for you, like, you've been waiting on a job to come through, a loan or some kind of opportunity, something like that. Anyway, we're going to move on now into the foundation. Okay, what's lying underneath? All right, and we got the Four of Swords. This is the quiet before the breakthrough card. Okay, the Four of Swords is definitely pulling away from someone or something, to protect your peace. It's got that, your care. You care, right? I don't know. The person you care about, they're just silent, right? But I feel like they're thinking about you constantly here. You could be recovering from like, just social burnout, okay? Um, Financial burnout, romantic type burnout, right? But I feel like you're dreaming about someone you haven't spoken to in a while here. If we're talking about a masculine energy, it could be a person that's giving you space, maybe because they don't want to mess things up here, okay? You could be reflecting on, your own past relationships and noticing patterns. That moon really does put us in a spot sometimes, right? But these are patterns that you're noticing and you're ready to break them. Okay. I feel like you're aware of this. And so it's got that I'm preparing for a major shift here, right? It's someone waiting for the right moment to reach out, healing from betrayal or disappointment. As far as synchronicities, it could be like, you're waking up at the same time every night thinking about someone, 333, 444, something like that. Those, synchronistic type numbers, whatever. All right. Now we're looking at the recent past here. Major arcanas, like I said, this is amazing. This is a really, really life-changing event taking place here. We've got the Hierophant card here. We could be talking about definite Taurus energy here in your timeline. Doesn't have to be, but it could be. This is commitment. This is energy. This is tradition, lessons, spiritual contracts. It could be like You recently ended or maybe questioned a long-term relationship or a situationship. Someone wanted commitment but wasn't ready to follow through. You learned a major, karmic lesson about, your boundaries, something like that. You're dealing with someone who, I don't know, maybe cared about the appearances or, the family expectations of things here. But a soulmate or twin flame connection resurfaced again, maybe to teach you more about, karmic cycles, patterns, things like that. This could be even feeling like, pressure to do things the right way, even if it didn't feel, authentic to you. You may have been involved with someone who was like still tied to a marriage or a long-term partner, something like that. And so, you questioned your values around love. This brings out a lot of those deeper, spiritual, traditional type questions, right? You could have started a practice yourself, something to deepen your intuition, yoga or, taking into Buddhism, Taoism, something like that, is a higher learning. Doesn't have to apply, but it could. But like, you definitely realize that you want something real, not casual, not confusing, something like that. Okay, we're moving on into the possibilities card here. Okay. In the possibilities, we have the King of Pentacles, right? So this is big. This is stability. Okay, this is definitely like long-term energy. Someone who's actually showing up. We could be talking about a financially stable, a masculine energy person. Doesn't have to be masculine, but it could be. Maybe somebody's got, like dark eyes or, like a real strong jawline, something like that. I mean, I don't know, someone who wants maybe moves slowly and they suddenly become very decisive. This is a decisive card as well, right? A long-term relationship opportunity, someone who wants to build a life with you. This is you attracting a partner who is protective, grounded, emotionally mature, that type of energy. We could also be talking about like a business opportunity or a promotion increase, in your income. This could be, like receiving unexpected money, like an inheritance or, a settlement that comes through or some kind of a big bonus here. This is definitely the someone sees you as like wife or husband material. Maybe you've met somebody older than you. It doesn't have to apply, but maybe you did. And maybe they're just, well established or something like that. A soulmate connection that becomes way more stable and grounded. We did see that earlier. But as far as synchronicities are concerned, I don't know, maybe you could be like seeing coins. Maybe you're a coin collector or something like that, but definitely like gold colors, earth sign colors, something like that. Okay, now we're moving on into the near future, and we have another major arcana card. Aquarius, this is your card, okay? This is hope, healing, destiny, alignment, right? A wish you made maybe like months ago. It's finally coming to manifest here. Someone reaching out unexpectedly, the messages, you've been waiting for, the soulmate or twin flame connection, it becomes clear, more aligned, that type of energy. You could have gained like recognition for your work or your creative endeavors, something like that, right? Feeling way more confident, magnetic, and attractive. Maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody sees you as their guiding light, right? This is healing from old heartbreak. That leaves you kind of like feeling emotionally free. You're attracting someone who admires maybe how unique you are, something like that. This really isolates, just the standard human qualities, right? This kind of like lights up the, the physical self and also the, the mental self. So this is, you're attracted someone maybe who, sees opportunity, like career, love, or travel in that situation. So as far as synchronicities, we might be talking about like, maybe stars, constellations. Maybe you watch the nighttime sky, that type of situation. Okay, moving on into the self. Okay? Little soft landing here for you, Aquarius, right? This part's a little tender. you're doubting yourself. You're afraid of making the wrong choice, right? This is stuck between two people or two paths, afraid to reach out first, even though you really want to. This is replaying old conversations in your head, maybe worried someone might be losing interest here. Okay. Even if they're not, this is I'm afraid of repeating those old toxic patterns, doubting your own intuition in that situation, right? Excuse me, scared to like trust someone who feels important to you. Definitely it's got that holding back from your feelings, to avoid like being vulnerable in a situation. I don't know, maybe you're afraid of just being too much or not enough. Okay. As far as like synchronicities, we might be talking about, I don't know, something about mirrors, something about maybe seeing reflections, or we could be just talking about like the number 8, 888 or 818, angel numbers, things like that. So, okay, we're moving on into the environment. Okay. And we have the Page of Swords here. Okay. Someone's watching you, curious. They're observing you. They're gathering up, all the information they can about you. Someone's stalking your social media, not to frighten you, but like they're just checking out who you're following, who likes your posts. The definite interest that keeps somebody just kind of really like on that, digging in deep to try to find more about you. Okay. So we could be talking about a younger person here. Okay. The air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, something like that. Doesn't have to be, but I feel like someone has that definite interest in you. Okay. Maybe they want to message you. Okay. And they just keep deleting it. Right. Or, this is like you receive a random like from someone you haven't spoke to in months. Okay. This could happen. Right. Someone maybe, jealous, but pretending not to care. Right. I don't know. You could be like being talked about, in a good way, of course. Someone trying to figure out whether or not you're single. Okay. I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know. You get a DM, a comment, an unexpected communication. Someone might be intimidated by your intelligence, or just how independent you are. Right. And so it's just got that little bit of a, I don't know, it's that patient waiting game situation here, but I don't know. As far as synchronicities are concerned, maybe you might be hearing somebody's name over and over again. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on into the hopes, fears, wishes, and worries. Another major arcana. My goodness, this is it's awesome. This is desire. This is beauty, abundance, attraction. You are probably the most beautiful person this person has ever seen in their life. This makes sense as to why they've held back. They're probably feeling super intimidated here. Okay, but this is you. You want a love that feels nurturing, right? Sensual, emotionally safe. And so they see you as so irresistible, right? And so they're scared of how strongly that they feel about you. They're matching their intensity by your attractiveness, not just in the external, but in the internal self. They're watching your glow up, right? Physically, a new style, a new confidence that you are carrying. And so you're attracting admirers probably without even trying. I don't know. This is someone wanting to build a future with you, but fears rejection. Like I said, it's like, and so maybe this is causing you to, maybe be afraid of like losing yourself in love. And so you kind of got this pull back energy on yourself. So we could also be talking about a pregnancy or some kind of a like a fertility theme that may be appearing as far as synchronicities. You also might be seeing like flowers, or you might be a person who really loves flowers. Venus is associated with this card, but also the symbolism of Venus, or soft colors or something like that. Okay. Okay. Now, in the outcome and the direction for Aquarius, right? This is you. Take a deep breath. I'm saying this with love here. This is the end of a painful cycle, not a tragedy. Okay. This is a release. You finally cut someone off, okay, who kept you confused as hell. This is a situationship that's ended, so a real relationship can begin, right? Like I said, we do have that page energy in there. Somebody younger, maybe, it doesn't have to be, but this is a new beginning for you here. So this could have been talking about someone who betrayed you, and now they've lost access to you permanently, okay? You ending a karmic cycle that was draining you, maybe for years, right? This has got the energy of walking away from a job or some kind of environment that just it doesn't line up with you anymore, okay? Not a bad card. It's a beautiful card. There's hope in this card because the sun's shining on the background, right? It's new horizons. This is a painful truth that's come out, but it's setting you free. Stop chasing. You're going to start receiving. This is you realizing your worth, okay, and refusing to see breadcrumbs. All right. So as far as synchronicities are concerned, we're talking about maybe like the numbers 1010, right, or feathers. Seeing feathers on the ground, especially white feathers. Okay. Look, Aquarius, this is the year you're going to stop settling for confusion. You're stepping into your clarity. It shows me that there's a slow and steady rebuilding of your emotions, your financial world, that situation, and also somebody who's wanting you very badly. Okay, and they're afraid to step forward, right? And so, with the star card showing here, this is everything aligning in your favor, right? You had that 10 of swords, okay, but it isn't a warning; it's liberation, okay. I'm grateful. This is an amazing situation here. Aquarius, a good read. I hope you got something from it. I hope it was confirmation for you. Okay, if it was, give it a thumbs up, would you? And let me know in the comments about the haiku poems if you liked them or not. Okay. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscription button. Okay, and don't forget to turn on your notifications. But look, I appreciate you. I love you. I respect you, and I hope this helped out. Okay. Anyway, have a good one. All right. Bye bye.